Hello and welcome. I'm Daniel.
I'm Andrew. We're brothers, and this is the Daniel and Andrew Show,
where we give our opinions about movies and TV that we've been watching lately. So, Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Oh, I am doing fine. Do anything fun this week?
Doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, just a bunch of appointments this week.
The old appointment schedule. That's what I did a couple weeks ago. Everything good on that front?
Pretty much nothing. I'm still waiting for results and stuff. So
yeah. Gotcha. That makes sense. All right. Well, cool. Mission Impossible came out on a weird time this week, so I saw it quite early. I saw it on Tuesday and then again on Wednesday. So
yeah, double featured.
Yeah. I did watch I watched the last 40 minutes of Fallout, the one before this current one, just because I had never watched it. And I thought maybe I'd miss some narrative stuff. I didn't. It's just the big action scene at the end, but pretty good action scene.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Sounded really good on my TV and looked really nice. Very cool. I know it's mostly him, he's probably attached by a couple wires or something, but it's pretty much just straight up doing that stunt. So that's cool. A lot of planning goes into these movies, as you can tell by just what you watched. It's there's got to be a lot of planning that goes into this. Yeah. So yeah. Let's see. I didn't watch anything outside really, other than just the movie that we're going to talk about today. Lots and lots of trailers to talk about. So more stuff came out about Deadpool, but I don't really want to talk about it because I feel like we've talked about it for the last 3 weeks.
I saw him in the suit.
Whoop-de-doo. I know people are excited about it, but
we've talked about it. You can't improv.
Yeah,
so this movie might be not great.
Yeah, we'll see. Once the strike's over, they could always redo some stuff, and he's wearing a mask. So anyway, so we got our Superman and Lois Lane a week or so ago, but now we have quite a bit of the rest of the cast. So we got what's his name? Superman. So we have a new Green Lantern. We have, I think it's a Hawkman. We have we have Hawkman and Hawkgirl, I think. No, we have a Hawkgirl. We have Mr. Terrific, and we have Metamorpho. Is that his name, really? Metamorpho? That's a weird name. So, do you remember X-Men First Class?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the guy who can, adapt to his surroundings? He could, he put his head in a fish tank and he had, gills?
Yeah.
So that guy is playing Mr. Terrific.
Okay.
You've watched Barry, right?
Yeah.
The bald guy, NoHo Hank.
Oh, the very eccentric one.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah, he's going to be Metamorpho. Isabella Merced, who's most famous for being Dora, will be your Hawk Girl. Dora the Explorer.
Oh.
The live action one. She was also in Sicario, and she was in Instant Family and one of those bad Transformers movies. She was the girl in that. The Last Night. And then she's with Mark Wahlberg the whole movie.
Is she the daughter?
I don't know if she's a daughter. Maybe she is. I don't know. I never saw the movie.
Was there 2 Mark Wahlberg ones or just one?
There's 2. This is the second one.
Okay, I'm assuming it's the second one because first one he's with his daughter and it's like some blonde girl.
Yeah, no, this is not that one.
I didn't think so. I don't remember that one. I haven't watched that one recently.
And then our probably most flashy headline of all of them is Nathan Fillion will be Guy Gardner, which is a Green Lantern.
That's an amazing choice.
Yeah, I would have said that was an amazing choice 15 years ago.
Yeah, well, we don't. I mean, Green Lantern just, sits there floating while his ring does all the work.
It's just James Gunn's friend. That's my only issue with it. I think they're going to do.
I mean, that's you have an issue with that. You have an issue with like his whole franchise. So
I understand, but I don't know. It's just give that character to somebody new, maybe. I don't know.
He hasn't been in anything else. It's not like he's been some other major superhero.
I know, but he's him. When he was in Guardians, it was him. It still wasn't like.
I agree with that, but I think that was the joke. I'm not saying he can't act as an actor in something else.
It looks like they're gonna do the Justice Society, and I would assume Green Lantern's in that at some point. Just I don't know. Who knows? He might have a small part anyway. Might not be a big part for him.
Just a Superman movie.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna do the Justice Society. Where,
I would assume he's just gonna be a cameo setting up future movies. I wouldn't think it'd be
I think they wouldn't have announced it like that if it was just gonna be like hi at the end or something. I'm gonna I think it'll be like because Black Adam, that's the Justice Society with Hawkman and stuff. So I would assume it'd be like just a one scene where they come and show up and do a battle with Superman or something like that.
Yeah, such an uphill battle with this movie. My goodness. I don't know.
I'm okay with having them being in a small amount, but I don't know if I would. I don't know.
Well, to my knowledge, I thought I wasn't going to say origin story, but I thought this was just a Superman solo sort of thing.
He's younger Superman. He's been doing it a couple years, and he's just doing his Superman thing. Apparently, is what the movie's supposed to be. So he's not just figuring it out, but he's still, in the beginning part.
I don't know. I don't remember Green Lantern being in that beginning, but
I know. I think. Well, comics are vast, aren't they? There's lots of Superman's been around since the 30s or something, 40s. So
I think it needs to be short, and this definitely needs to be a Superman movie, though.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I think we haven't had a good Superman movie in a long time, so we'll see. I don't know. None of these people get me excited, and just seeing his goofy face just reminds me that James Gunn's making this movie and may be bad, maybe go too far.
Hey man, we'll see. They need this to be a win if they want to.
They do indeed.
So we'll see what happens.
Well, they still got Blue Beetle here coming up. We'll see how that does.
That's an L. That's a huge L.
I don't know. I'll wait till it actually comes out and see.
I think it'll do less than Flash.
Oof. Well, we'll see, shall we? All right. So the Emmy nominations came out, and we have some interesting picks for some of the categories. We have so there's outstanding limited or anthology series, and one of those picks out of there is nominations is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi got nominated for an Emmy for outstanding limited series, which I think it's funny that movie got crapped on.
The intergalactic weed over there, I guess. I don't know, man. That show was awful.
Yeah. We have drama series. Andor was nominated for outstanding drama series. It's not in the limited series because they're getting another season. Andor will be going up against Better Call Saul, House of the Dragon, Succession, The Crown, The White Lotus, The Last of Us, and Yellow Jackets.
Like a bunch of shows that are way better than Andor.
I have not watched anything but Andor. I haven't watched Better Call Saul in several seasons. The whole thing is on Netflix now, so I could probably finish it up. Better Call Saul is in its last season, so I think that has a good chance. But so is Succession, and I don't know. But
what were the other ones? There was another one that I think is good.
House of the Dragon, The Crown, The White Lotus, The Last of Us, Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. Last of Us was great. That's the only other one I've seen, and I would definitely say it was better than Andor.
Yeah, well, I've never seen it. We'll see how that category is interesting because there's a lot of genre picks there. And those don't always do well. I know that it got nominated, but a video game TV show, I would be surprised if it won, even though I'm sure it was good. But I don't know if all the voters would have watched that, but they might have watched Succession or The Crown or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to win. I'm just saying if Andor won, I'd be like quite the upset.
Well, I don't even think Andor will win.
No, I don't think it'll win either.
So comedy is all over the place. We got Abbott Elementary, Barry, Jury Duty, Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, The Bear, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Wednesday. That's another. It's just like random stuff.
Hasn't Ted Lasso won like every time for every season so far?
I don't think so. I think Abbott won last year.
Well, it didn't come out last year, so.
What do you mean?
Ted Lasso didn't have a season last year.
I think they were nominated last year.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, we have this handy dandy thing called the internet.
I'm pretty sure it's won twice because I remember you complaining that it won the year prior.
Oh, yeah, it did win last year. I think Abbott won like everything else. But
so we'll see if it goes for the trip win here.
Wow, how stupid. What a waste.
Was that the hat trick or something?
3? Yeah. Well, it depends on what game you're playing. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't even seen it yet, so I couldn't really tell you if I think it's that good enough to win or something. But
I don't know. I've heard The Bear is a good show. The Marvelous Miss Maisel, it's their last season. Wednesday was kind of a smash hit. Ted Lasso, like you said, it's been around. I think Barry's its last season as well. And Abbott's been gaining momentum in general. Basically, all the drama acting categories is just The White Lotus or Succession. Like Like if there's some of them have like 8 nominees, and they're like 4 and 4 for those 2 shows. So I think some of these have a pretty good chance to win. Let's see. I was trying to see if there's any more interesting categories that we can talk about, but it's not really. No one's really getting nominated for any of those shows. Those comic book or video game shows are pretty much all just the same. Pedro Pascal got nominated for The Last of Us, and he also got nominated as guest actor for being on Saturday Night Live. So Pedro Pascal, if he wins both, he could win 2 Emmys in 1 year. If he wins both of them. That's pretty funny. So we'll see. But yeah, I thought, the Emmys nominations came out, and I was like, that's an interesting random grouping of things. And I don't know how they consider what a comedy, what a drama, because like Barry, I've heard, is very, very dark. So I don't know if you can consider that a comedy anymore, but they got to group them somewhere, I guess.
I would say it's. I mean, I haven't watched it the most recent season. I don't know how many seasons there are. I don't even remember how many I've seen. It goes on forever, I felt like.
I know people like that show, but
there is a comedy to it, but yeah, it's very dark.
So, all right. Well, let's pull into the old station for the trailer train. We got 5 trailers today. Let's talk about.
Are you either talking Ahsoka first, or we're talking Ahsoka last?
All right, let's talk about Ahsoka.
Woo!
Go ahead. I'm ready.
Well, so in Rebels, which is the animated TV show, the lady was never a Jedi, the Mandalorian girl. Her name I'm blanking on. So, yeah. So I don't know why she's a Jedi now, but I guess she's a Jedi now. What did you think of the trailer?
Great analysis. I don't really care that much. Like, it looks cool in spots, but like I'm not super familiar with them, and it looks like I'm gonna have to do homework before I watch this show. I
mean, yeah, there's a lot of,
but I guess
literally 2 different shows basically combining. Plus, I'm sure there'll be Mando drops in there and stuff.
I guess I'll have to read that little cheat sheet or whatever, where it's like the ones you need to watch before leading up to it or whatever. Yeah, I like Rosario Dawson. Ray Stevenson just passed away not too long ago. He's in that. He looks like an interesting villain. I know that the other people are in it from that Rebel show, but me. We'll see. Might be a little too up its own butt on this one, but we'll see. Hopefully it can just be its own thing, and it doesn't have to be so bogged down by other stuff outside other shows. We'll see.
I agree. I hope they have a good script for this, and it's not just like, here's Luke Skywalker for some reason, and other people. Definitely needs to be. I think that's what they're going for. It's going to be its own thing. It's going to be the, Ahsoka plus some of the Rebels, I guess, will be in it as well.
Yep. All right. So let's talk about Twisted Metal.
Because I just thought talk about.
It's just such a weird trailer. I kind of liked it because it was so weird and just all over the place. I like Anthony Mackie. And then there's other people in the show that I can't remember now off the top of my head. Other famous people.
There's the lady from that cop show, but it's a comedy, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, yeah, Rosa. I don't know what her real name is.
Yeah, she's in it.
She's also the voice in Encanto. The main character.
I didn't know that. I've never seen that movie still. So.
That was a pretty good movie. Stephanie Beatrice is her name. Her real name. The actress's name. Neve Campbell. Thomas Hayden Church. Will Arnett is the voice of Sweet Tooth, which is the clown that drives the ice cream truck. I don't know. This looks kind of ridiculous, so I'm definitely interested.
It's a movie, right?
TV show.
It's a show.
But I think it's gonna be a short, like a mini series.
Yeah, I don't know. This looks like a bit much.
I wonder if it's gonna drop all at once or it's gonna be like a weekly thing. I hope it's not a weekly thing.
I think it's Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I think they usually drop it all at once.
All right. Well, I hope so.
They do with like The Boys and stuff too. They drop it all at once.
Because I definitely don't want to do, like 6 half-an-hour episodes once a week is going to be lame. Because I don't think they're long. I think it's like a comedy, like sitcom length. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Based on the old video game.
It's definitely going to be you either go in and you like it, or you're just not even going to watch it and you're not going to like it. I don't think there's going to be an in-between, really.
Yeah. All right. Well, what did you think about the second trailer of Blue Beetle?
To be honest, I didn't watch it because I didn't care.
All right. Yeah, it's more of the same. They give you a little bit more to the story, what's going on. But it's kind of just a repackaging of the first trailer, like the same kind of beats, just in a different way. Maybe they're trying not to give things away. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a long movie. Maybe they just don't have that much that they want to show if it's not long, maybe.
I mean, I think if there was something interesting going to happen in this movie, they would have just shown it to try to get people into the theaters. I don't think this movie has anything.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope they don't do it for once and don't do that.
But they've done it for everything else.
I think
Flash, they showed Batman, and everything was basically ruined from the trailer.
Well, I think because this one is technically in the new continuity or whatever, maybe they're not wasting it. Like Flash isn't going to be in the new continuity or whatever, and same with Aquaman type thing. I don't know.
This is just leftover. It's going to be a drop in the bucket. They're just trying to get it out of the way and move on.
All right. Well, we'll see. Did you see the trailer for Napoleon?
Yeah, this looks like Braveheart or like Lord of the Rings or something.
Well, it's directed by the guy who directed Gladiator, so
okay,
who also have Joaquin Phoenix in it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. I mean, it's kind of got like a Game of Thrones vibe. Who's trying to get to the top, and then you have these like open scale battles that look just fantastic.
Yeah,
it really looks like. I remember the other competition for like Lord of the Rings back in the day was like Master and Commander or something like that. This kind of gives me the same kind of vibes of. That kind of combat, even though they're not on ships, but very, kind of grand scope battle sort of things going on. Looks pretty good. I'm probably going to check this one out, even if we don't review it. I don't see why we wouldn't review it.
I think it's coming out like in October or something, so I'm sure it'll be open to talk about.
The trailer has definitely piqued my interest.
It's funny because Russell Crowe's in Master Commander and in Gladiator, which is funny. That you said those movies. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I haven't seen a good like historical epic in a while. Obviously, we know that Ridley Scott can do good things. I think he's taking a break from his smaller movies that nobody wants to see, and trying to go for something grandiose that people are going to actually go watch. You want to go watch this on a big screen with good sound and stuff like that, with a big battle and stuff like that. So I'm cool with that. I know that you like those two, obviously. So we'll see. Joaquin Phoenix is a pretty good actor, Oscar-winning actor. I don't necessarily know if his acting is always the right choice, but we'll certainly see. Napoleon is quite a historical figure with some preconceived notions for people behind him. So we'll see what happens with this one. So yeah, Napoleon. All right, Wonka. What'd you think?
I mean, I thought it was a miss for me, but I'm also not a fan of the lead.
Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. He's not bad. He's just like hasn't won me over in any of the movies I've seen him in.
Which is
I haven't seen I've only seen Dune. I think there was something else, but I'm blanking out on what it was. It could possibly just be Dune, but from the trailer, I didn't think. I know he's like not Wonka yet or whatever. It's like him coming up to become Willy Wonka, but I don't know. From the trailer, I don't see it. I don't know. Didn't really look that funny. And the only joke that was remotely funny was at the end. And it's like not even funny because it's Willy Wonka sort of stuff. It's just because of that dude's face is on Palooka.
I thought that was hilarious. Hugh Grant. I thought the joke was actually funny. And then I laughed at the joke. And then I started laughing more because I just thought about how ridiculous it looked. I'm definitely interested in this movie. I'm definitely curious how this movie's going to go. It's directed by the director of Paddington 1 and 2, who's a great director, Paul King. And he has a few of his people from those movies. Obviously, Hugh Grant and Sally Hawkins are in this movie from Paddington. So I'm definitely curious. This movie can be really bad or really good. I think it's going to have the good heartfelt moments because that's what Paddington does well. You can even see it in the trailer a little bit. And it looks like there's some music in it. So I'm on board.
Yeah.
Another Christmas, because I think it's coming out like around Christmas time. So it's going to be another Christmas time musical for me, and I'm cool with that. So it looks like I'm going to get those pretty much every year because next year Wicked is supposed to come out for Christmas. So actually, I think there's also The Color Purple this year for Christmas coming out on Christmas as well. So several musicals to watch.
Yeah, those are two movies that I'm very not interested in, but I will see them.
I am very interested. All right, Timothée Chalamet. Here you go. Timothée Chalamet was in Interstellar. He was I think his son when he's a teenager.
Must have been like really young in that.
15 years. He's in Call Me by Your Name. He was in Lady Bird, Beautiful Boy, Little Women, The French Dispatch, Dune, Don't Look Up, Bones and All.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Don't Look Up, but I don't even remember in that, so he was probably just a cameo or something.
He wasn't in it for very long. I think the reason why I like him is because he's in both of Greta Gerwig's last two movies before Barbie, and I like both of those, and then I also like Dune. So, yeah, I would say watch either of the two Greta Gerwig movies, and I think you'll see why he's pretty
that
good.
Last week too. Yeah, I'm still not interested.
But, yeah. Well, Barbie's coming out next week, so I think in the movie Beautiful Boy, it's him and Steve Carell, but it's a drama. That's a really good movie, and he did a really, really good job in that movie. But it's a downer for sure. So, I think that's also an Amazon movie. So it's watchable. Yeah. So he's a good actor. You just haven't seen him in that many things to, I think, form a...
It's just Dune. That's all I've seen him in.
Rounded opinion. All right. Well, the trailer train is left the station now. So is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we get into the big movie here?
No.
All right. So this week we are talking about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Really rolls off the tongue. What did you think of this movie, Andrew? Because I know you just watched it like an hour ago.
Yeah, I just saw it. I do like to see them, and then I like to kind of go over my thoughts with you on the podcast. I thought this was a great movie for sure. I mean, I don't think there was any way I was walking out of this without saying that. They would have really had to screw it up if I ever thought that. I do think the plot is a bit over the top compared to the last few. It's a very different kind of villain this time around. So if you have trouble buying into that, I could see why you wouldn't have a problem with this. Because I don't know if I completely accept this villain either. But all around the movie was great. All the action is great. There's another major point where they introduce a new character who is shown in the trailers. I'm trying to do this without spoiling anything. You're either going to like her or you're not going to like her. So that would be another, I'd say, tipping point to if you like this movie or not. It worked for me, I'll say, but it might not work for someone else.
I like this movie a lot. It's probably one of my more high-rated movies so far that we've done on the podcast. So Tom Cruise did his Tom Cruisiness. He did a lot of running. He did a lot of acting, just standing there talking, acting, which is fine. I would say, there's one big issue with the movie, which brings it down just a point for me. And we can talk about that in spoilers. I think the villains were kind of weak, but there was a lot of what I liked about it is there was a lot of things happening, but it doesn't feel convoluted. completely.
You're still very aware of what's going on. Everything, they do a good job.
Yeah, there's lots of threads happening, and you're still understanding what's going on. The team is very good. They all have good chemistry, and they can bring new people in, no problem, and it's still interesting. And they have good chemistry. They're vetting. The people working with each other. I like how they show, what it would be like if just a person was just kind of thrown into this almost unwittingly, and what kind of effect they might have if they're just kind of like thrown into this hidden secret service type thing.
Yeah, I would like to know why this narrative was even chosen for this movie. It was a bit surprising to me. We'll have to get into that. Spoilers.
I liked Tom Cruise. I liked his team. I liked Haley Atwell. For me, honestly, she played Peggy Carter, Agent Carter in the early Marvel movies. She's great in this movie. I think she kind of steals the show for me, honestly. I really liked her character. I thought she was charming and clever, and there was funny parts for her. She seemed capable. I liked her in this. I think she was a great choice. Simon Pegg's good as always, funny. Ving Rhames got more to do, which I'm cool with. He actually was part of the team. He wasn't just kind of like, all right, good luck, bye-bye. We're going to go do our stuff. Yeah. So I like that. Rebecca Ferguson, always cool with her sniper, so it was just the villains that were kind of okay for me, but there was other new characters. Shea Wiggum, I think is his name, and his partner that's helping trying to grab Ethan Hunt here. I thought they were funny and did some different stuff. The guy from the original movie, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Kittredge is his character's name. He was also on a show called Revenge. Which I'm probably the only one that's seen that show, but that's why I know him. But he was awesome.
Is that the one where she's like an assassin or something?
Yeah, but she had lost her memory or whatever. Yeah.
No, I seen the first season or something of that.
Yeah.
I didn't remember he was in that though.
He plays the
bad guy or something, right?
He's the husband of the main villain lady in the show. Okay. Yeah. So, I liked him. There was other cameos here and there. I was fine with all of those. Vanessa Kirby's back as the White Widow. I didn't love her when she's just playing herself, if that makes sense. I liked her more in her second part. I think she's a good actress. I don't know. There was rumors about her maybe being Sue Storm. I don't really love that choice. We can fully talk about casting for Fantastic Four when it actually happens. I'm kind of tired. It's every week they feel like there's this one might get cast or this person might get cast. So we'll see. But yeah, I think she's pretty good. I think everyone did a pretty good job, or as best a job as they could with what they were given. If I thought they were weaker, Isai Morales plays a villain. He's to me, mustache twirling, of flat. I like he's Mr. Knives. I thought was pretty funny.
This was weird. There's random sword fighting for some reason in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought everyone these are all the characters, and there's still more to talk about. Palm Clementieff or whatever her name is, Mantis in Guardians. She's in it too, being an assassin, helper, henchman, whatever, doing weird stuff, coming in. I was cool with that. I don't know. There's just more action. I think the pacing of this movie was very good. I didn't get bored, and it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I didn't check my phone or anything. Like, it moved really good. That's what's great. A lot of movies recently, the pacing is horrible, but there's good stuff that make it better. But this one is like, I felt like the pacing was really good. There's only one part that maybe took a beat, which was maybe 10 minutes long, but other than that, I thought it was pretty good. I think you could have made it 15, 20 minutes shorter, might have tightened it up a little bit, but I was fine with the length of it because I wasn't bored. So, because there was things happening all the time. The set pieces, all the action set pieces. There's a set piece with a train. There's a set piece with a submarine. There's a car chase, which I thought was fun. What else? Are there any other action set pieces? Just fights here and there in little nooks and crannies and stuff. I thought that stuff was cool. I don't know. I liked this movie a lot. I'm at an 8.5 is where I'm at. I was at a 9, but it went down just ever so slightly because I watched it again. And in the part in the middle where I thought it kind of slowed down for just a moment, I got kind of droopy-eyed, but I think that's just because I was tired. And I've seen the movie. But there's a lot of talking in rooms to a few people talking in rooms to each other that were kind of boring. But other than that, I think it moved pretty good. And the villain, the big villain, is not ideal for me. So that's why I'm at 8.5.
I see that. Yeah, I don't really like to go halvesies on any of the things, but then I'm between an 8 and a 9. Then I would have to choose, do I think it's an 8 or do I think it's a 9? I do think the villain was a bit lacking, especially because I've never seen the first movie. Maybe if I had seen the first movie, that would have done something.
That's made up for this movie. If I'm thinking what you're thinking, it's made up for this movie. So
okay.
Yeah.
So that's before. That's not ever
that's
been
supposed to be before he joins the
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just made up. Okay. Okay, well then that helps. I would say that is the weakest part. I'm going to say 9 for right now, and when we go through spoilers, I might change my thoughts.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go into spoilers now. So the big villain here is AI. Not a big fan. I'm okay with it. And then they have a big scene where they're in the party or whatever, and they're like so serious about it. They're like, could be everywhere and nowhere. And it's like, I got it, I guess, but I don't know. It's a little goofy for me. But I remember seeing it the first time, and I was invested the whole time, so it didn't hurt me that much. And it was just a slight step down for me. I would have probably just preferred a villain maybe trying to set up had developed an AI system or something, and they were trying to set this AI off or something like that. I think that would have been more interesting than what they're doing.
Yeah, maybe like at the beginning they show the sub part. Maybe that was like the trial run to see how it worked and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like now we see how potentially powerful this is, and then the villain is just in control and trying to
something like that would have been a little bit more interesting. But I still think it's a very good movie. It's just that the entity, as they're calling it, they just talk about it. I hear that entirely too much. Oh, the entity can do this. The entity's doing that. And I get that it's going based off of real stuff, but it's harder for me to connect with a non-tangible, non-visual thing. They're just using like these twinkly light circle thing, that's the entity. But I feel like that's been done before, where it's like
gives me like huge eagle eye vibes.
Yeah. I know we don't want that.
You don't want those kinds of vibes.
That sucks. But holes. So I don't know. That was my only issue, and then for that reason, it made Esai Morales' character, the other human villain guy, kind of goofy, because he's like, the entity knows all or whatever, and he's just kind of like twirl the mustache guy.
Yes, I will receive the doodads that must be stuck together tomorrow. Delivered to my feet.
Exactly. Now. And I thought, because I saw this movie with Dad, and he was like, oh, well, he has these people from the 80s in these movies. Esai Morales was, I guess, did stuff in the 80s, I guess. And I was like, I wonder why I haven't seen him then. Maybe it's probably because I don't think he's like particularly a great actor. Like, he's an okay actor. That's probably why I think he is like a TV actor. It felt kind of TV to me, him specifically. But there was good. So Hayley Atwell comes in, and she basically becomes the new lady of the team because they kill Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, I don't know if I totally agree with this choice. I'm not sure. That's why I'm interested. I said it when I was doing the review. I don't know why this choice was made. Maybe the other lady didn't want to do it anymore.
I don't know about that. I think I do like that she's, it's an honorable death or whatever, and she's trying to help, and they'll do whatever needs to be done to finish the mission and protect others, I think. So it works for me. I could see why others might not like it, but I thought it worked for me. You have to have that human villain do something. I feel like he needed to do something. I'm not worried.
It was just the way it was done was super cliche. It was the Spider-Man choice. Who do you save?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I feel like what can you do differently, I guess, is my question.
I don't know. I'm not saying I hated it or anything. It just was a bit cliche. That's all.
Yeah, I can see why you feel that way.
I'm just wondering why replace her in the first place at all. I already really liked Rebecca. I really liked that character she's been in the previous two now.
Yeah.
And I mean, you kind of saw that she was the one who was going to go from the very get-go.
Yeah. Well, they did fake out that she was dead in the beginning, so obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah. And then they were showing them actually being happy together. No one gets to be happy in Mission Impossible.
No one gets to be happy in most things, but yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I liked her. I'm not saying this other lady did bad or anything. I thought they actually did a great job introducing a new character. Yeah. I just don't see why. I'm just curious why they chose that in the first place. I didn't think it was needed.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I liked Hayley Atwell a lot. Like I said, I think she kind of stole the show for me because I think she's in pretty much most of this movie. And I think that, I don't know, maybe just thought there needed to be somebody new. I don't know, because most of the time almost every movie they have new people. Like Jeremy Renner's just not in this movie. He wasn't in the last one either, and they like what he was around, but then they just like never talk about him again. So like, I guess killing them, I don't know if killing them is better than just pretending they didn't exist. I don't know, because Jeremy Renner's in 2 movies and then he just like never talked about again, as far as I can remember.
I believe he resigns or something at the end of one of them or something.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. I was okay with it. I wasn't particularly attached to that character, but then again, I'm not particularly attached to any of these characters. We know Tom Cruise isn't going to die because he will never kill himself in his movies. So I don't know.
I'm just saying I like the other girl. I thought she was great in the last 2, and she looks like she was doing all of her stunts and stuff and everything.
I
think they all do, whoever is doing whatever.
Yeah. So I liked the whole train sequence was great. And they had Vanessa Kirby. It's supposed to be Haley Atwell has put on the White Widow's face or whatever. So it's Vanessa Kirby playing
somebody else who's playing her.
I liked that. I thought she did a good job as that. I didn't really care for the real character she plays, though.
I think she was better playing like the villain type in the previous film. She's more of like a neutral party, just off for herself kind of thing.
Yeah.
And in this one, they never really say what the heck her motivation is. I was kind of confused, honestly. Apparently she's connected to the MIF guy or whatever. The one guy, she's not like cousins or something. I don't know what they were saying when she met the guy on the train.
Okay. So I do know what this is. So in the first movie, there's a person who ends up being the villain. It's like a twist villain. It's a lady called Max. She is Vanessa Kirby's character is supposed to be the daughter of that character. So Kittredge would, because I think he becomes the leader of the IMF at the end of that movie because that person dies. Max dies. So he would know who that is because he knew Max. That would so she would have been a little kid or whatever in the first movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how he knows who she is. That's why he said, oh, that's not who I remember when you were a little kid or whatever, because she's
okay. I was wondering what they were referring to.
Yeah, she said in the last movie, she's like, my mother, her name was whatever, blah blah blah, when they introduced her or whatever, and then this movie pretty much confirms that that's who that was.
Okay.
Anyway, but I like that whole thing with the maybe picking, is she going to take the money, not take the money? And then, obviously, and that scene.
Yeah, I feel like she could have still taken the money, but then.
Yeah. No, I
still done her choice, but now she had to hit the decline button and.
Yeah.
Ignore someone's phone call. That's how it works.
Yeah. I liked how that in that train sequence specifically, when they're in that thing where he's trying to jump across and she's like grabbing, don't go, don't jump across. I feel like that's real. Like that's how someone would actually act, when they're scared like that. I thought that was interesting how it's written, because most movies it's just gonna be like, okay, and then I'm do this thing, you jump across.
You just gotta do it.
I kind of liked that where the piano was about to fall on them and stuff. But I liked all those scenes where they're two doing action scenes when they're in the little, of course they find the car and you think it's going to be this like Lamborghini or whatever, but then it's like the little yellow clown car and they're handcuffed together. And they're going down those steps. those steps are a lot like the steps in Fast X, if you remember that, or that ball, that thing. That's the exact same steps. There's a few things in this movie that reminded me of Fast X, actually.
Well, they even drive past the thing, wasn't it, in John Wick, where that's the big circle thing?
Arc de Triomphe, yeah. But
yeah.
Fast X is literally those exact steps they were using, and it was a car chase, and it was just very similar. And then...
Yeah. No, it was.
You know, and then later when there's bombs on the like bridge instead of bombs on
well, it's still a little it's believable to see a car go downstairs. It's not believable for a bomb to roll down it and then hit your car into the bomb to avoid grandmas and stuff.
But there was other cars there's cars in Fast X that are going down the stairs. But yes. I liked that also. That's basically them. So there's an old movie called Battleship Potemkin. This is literally a clear allusion to that, because in that movie there's a war and they're on the steps and you see a baby carriage going down the steps. In this movie they're like, oh, don't hit the baby carriage or whatever. That's a clear homage to that.
Nod to it.
Okay. Yeah, which is like a movie from like the 30s or something. Anyway, that's a film nerd thing for sure.
Sounds like it.
But I like that. And they're going down the steps, you know, and then they go flipping around in the car and then they land in the other seats. And that's pretty funny. I like that whole sequence. The airport sequence where they're putting like Ethan's face on different people and they're chasing him around.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? We were trying to pick a movie yesterday. Yeah. And I mentioned Night and Day, and like this whole sequence is like literally pulled out of Night and Day with Cameron Diaz.
Really?
Yeah, they have a car chase, and he'll be like jumping car to car, and he goes off screen, and then you see like cars like getting thrown off the road and stuff, and then he goes back to Cameron Diaz's car and knocks on the window and is like, can you let me in, sort of thing. Basically, the lady's just like, what's going on? This is way crazier than I thought, sort of thing. He's just doing his normal thing.
Are they handcuffed in Night and Day when they're on the motorcycle? When they're like,
I think they have to stay close for some reason or another. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
So it's almost like
it's kind of similar. I see what you're talking about.
Very similar. Yeah, it was just funny that I mentioned that, and then like that whole sequence was exactly the same.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'd say exactly the same, but I liked all the action in this movie, and they kept it going. I liked the opening. They have the submarine opening, and then they tie that all the way back into the very end of the movie, which I like. I like well-crafted stories. My only issue really is the villains.
I liked Mantis a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's not dead. Yeah, she's not dead.
She's a boss. She's a boss. I liked those two guys.
You don't get to have a tear and then die and then not die.
Yeah, I think that was definitely added in. That was definitely voiced over, right? Because it checks the pulse and they probably like had something there, and then camera moves away from them, and then you hear, I got a pulse here, you know what I mean? Like clearly that was added in.
I'm wondering if they're going to, I don't know, do you think this is a passing of the torch? You think like after this one Tom Cruise will be done and maybe they do something with this new girl?
No. The next one is supposedly the last one.
Yeah, the Mission Impossible, yeah.
A spinoff?
Like a spinoff, yeah.
Fine. Yeah, I'd take that. I'd be okay with
that.
That's
like my only thinking of why they would change the lady in the first place.
I would watch that for sure. She's good. I like her. So, cool.
That's like my only thoughts on that whole why they would have done this. Is if they plan to do some kind of spin-off.
Yeah, we'll see. They've tried to do stuff like this with other things. Halle Berry had a character in a James Bond movie, and they wanted to do a spin-off with her, which never came to fruition. So things like this they've tried things like that before. We'll see if that actually happens. This is just maybe hypothetical.
Yeah, I know we're totally just. I mean, that's what spoilers are for.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it'd be pretty cool if it was her character and then Mantis is now a good guy. So it's like they're the squad and then they need some nerdy person to do all their hacking or something.
I don't know. I would watch it. I like most of the characters in this. I think I've liked all the Mission Impossibles, the newer ones, after the original 3. I think they've all gotten. I think the 4th one was my favorite one, which is the first one coming back with when Jeremy Renner's in it, and
Rogue Nation.
That's Ghost Protocol. Because they have to be like ghosts or whatever, and then they go rogue or whatever.
That's the one where. Is that the one where he's climbing on the building with like his magnetic hands?
Yeah. Okay. And then they're fighting in like a circular parking structure at the end.
Yeah, I mean, from that's the first one I saw. I have not seen the 3 before that. I think they've all been really good since then. I would say the last one I probably liked more than this one. Okay. But I also thought the villains were a lot stronger in the last one. I really liked Henry Cavill, and then the villain actually reprises his role from the previous film.
That one felt... So here's my thing about the last one. I felt like it was a little convoluted. I know they're doing the classic stuff, with the face of ripping off and stuff like that. But I think everybody, I knew that Henry Cavill was going to turn on them. Like it wasn't like a shock.
We knew it was the bad. Yeah, we knew it was the bad.
But it's like, I don't know if it I feel like this at least gave me some different stuff and surprised me a little bit. The other one was just like, look at these cool.
What part of this movie surprised you?
Oh, well, I didn't know the villain was an AI. That was not a surprise to you? You knew that was coming?
They literally tell you that.
I mean, going into one movie, never seeing the Fallout, and you never seen this movie.
I did not think it was going to be an AI, but that's not a twist of the movie. That's just the plot of the movie.
Okay. Whatever. I don't know. I feel like that one was a little more convoluted. I think the action set pieces were cool. But I don't know. This one just had a different feel for me. I think they're very close in my mind for sure. And if they stick the landing on the next one, we could, this could be one of the best franchises ever, if not the best, just depending on how they stick the landing in the next one. This is an 8.5 for me. I'm feeling pretty solid on that. Definitely one of the best movies of the year for me so far, maybe even number 1. What you thinking?
I think I'm gonna go with a 9. I did really like it. I think if the movie just had a better villain, I think this could have been a 10 movie.
Yeah.
And just get rid of the AI and make it a villain, like you said. But the villain, if they had done that and it was the same villain, it still wouldn't have been a 10. That villain was just didn't hit the
if mark. He was like a secondary guy, I would have been okay with it. But you would have, and you would want like a really like a actor with gravitas, villain guy. And
I feel like not just Henry Cavill, but that I don't know who that other guy is, who's also the villain of the previous film. I thought he did a great job, and I really liked that villain. Yeah. So it wasn't all on Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill was more of like the henchman kind of guy, I guess.
He was the villain that people remember. I think I think I like any slick spy anything. So I think that's why they always work for me. I think also maybe not seeing Fallout in a theater hurts it for me. I think these movies are really good in the theater.
True, you didn't. Yeah, and you watched half and half.
And
that's a good movie. I will totally watch that. I know you've already seen the other half. We should have watched it.
I think. Well, I did that. I think. Yeah, I saw half, and I saw the other half 2 years later. So yeah, I could see why might not have resonated with me.
I think the last one was better, so that's why I think that one's a 9. I was thinking of going down to an 8, but I think both of the movies are just a 9, and I just enjoyed one more than the other.
Yeah. Did you like this more or John Wick more?
So between the two, they're almost the same in kind of action scenes and stuff. You have your set piece, and then whatever happens in that action scene happens. And John Wick is obviously much, much more action and not much plot. But so, like, do I like John Wick more as a character? Yes, I like it more than Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, just Tom Cruise. But putting the movies together, it's Mission Impossible. It just has a more interesting plot with the action, which, I mean, that's what all you could ask for more in John Wick is better plot.
I think this movie is definitely a see it in the theater, see it in IMAX for me. It's a big recommend. I think there's other little things in the movie that we didn't talk about that are fun for me. Some other stuff, some cameos and whatnot. But I think it's definitely a go out and see it for sure. Try to see it soon before it goes out of the premium screens, because I think you'll be missing something.
It was so packed in my theater.
Yep. It was packed in my theater too.
Yeah, it's pretty much selling out. Definitely go see it. It's going to be a big one. There's no way this isn't making top 5 of the summer. Hopefully it goes up to number 1. That's what I'm hoping. Which is kind of what we were hoping at the beginning.
This is definitely a better movie than Fast X, even though I had a good time with Fast X. So
Fast X looks like a little ant compared to this movie.
I think Fast X is trying to do similar things as this, but it's like
failing in every aspect.
I wouldn't say that. You're too harsh on that. But it is goofier. I think that's what. But I think this movie, if it went harder on that AI thing, I think would have made it too silly for me. So we'll see.
The problem with Fast X is you have this huge cast that does nothing half of the time. If they had shortened it up to like how Ethan's team is only like 3 or 4 of them, it probably would have been a lot better movie.
I think this next movie you need to do. You don't need 3 hours. You need like 2 hours, and there's only like one thing to do in this, and it's going to do this.
There is no way that this next one is not going to be 3 hours.
It's going
to be 2:45 again.
Not convolute it too much. I really, really don't think they should. I think they should go pretty straightforward, going to unlock this freaking source code
at least thing. 2.5. At least 2.5.
Well,
You're asking that from the wrong franchise, man.
I'm telling you, it'll be better if they do it that way. I don't in a couple. And it's supposed to come out next year, so we'll see. But
yeah, we had some great part 1ers this year.
Next
Spider-Man
year,
and this one.
Yeah, and I think there's probably still more to come this year. There's probably some secret part 1s here and there, randomly thrown in there. Be like Haunted Mansion Part 1, like this is like random part 1s.
I hope not. I don't know. That movie does not look great.
I know. I'm just joking, but. You know what I mean? We'll see. We got one part 2 later this year as well. So we'll see how that goes.
What is that?
Dune.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've said all we wanted to say. Hit on for Mission Impossible. Go out and check it out. Fun movie.
Yeah, I'd say one of my few must-sees of the summer. Don't miss it.
8.5 and 9 for Andrew. So, Cool.
All right. We will see you guys on the next one.
See you later.